Wow, nice to be with you on the show once again. My name is Frank Ilabe. I say welcome to Sports Ville. It's another lovely weekend. But we have so much to discuss today on the show. So much is happening, and we started with the Eaglet of Nigeria. Ubade is ready to roll in Algeria. But back home, we're talking about the sports ministry. But next month, the minister will be saying goodbye to the sports ministry and sports administration in Nigeria. We'll be starting the scorecard very shortly, but today I want to tell you that we have a special guest in the house, somebody that you want to listen to, somebody that does so much flipping in those days. You know, do I tell you his name? Yeah, Julius Arawa is with us in the studio. I'll be talking with him on the variety of issues on the show today. Of course, Tony Ban is also here, and George Alo also completed the gang today. Once again, my name is Frank Ilabe. This is Sportsville. Let's start roll now with our pictorial of the week, where we show you events that happen all over the world in pictorial format. After this time, we'll come back to talk about the Golden Eaglet, and we'll talk on Julius Arawa, our special guest on the show today. Wonderful pictures. Of course, I hope you enjoyed that. I want to say thank you so much to 1xBet for being part of the show every week. Now let's go to the studio. Everybody is set. Let me start by the man in the middle. Our special guest today with a different hairstyle, with a different beard, looking different. Julius Arawa. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
All right, Tony Bani is beaming with smiles close to me here. Tony, how are you doing here?
Frank, I'm great, and I'm really excited that I'm seated with one of Nigeria's great players. And like you did say, what I remember him most, I pray every time that he scores. And once he scores, I'm in love with his flips.
Well, you can't do that again now.
He can. He's still looking great. Frank, he looks like one of the players. Nothing has changed except for the best.
All right. Of course, George, I know is also here. George, welcome to the show. Thank God that we have you with us today.
It's a pleasure, and it's really exciting to have our wonder in the studio. And you remember those days when he would do wow.
All right, we're going to be very flexible. We'll not be taking flips. We'll be you'll be feeding questions from all of us on the show today. All right, let's start now with the Golden Eagles of Nigeria. Like I said, they are set to roll now under Coach Uduka Ubade, the man that made history as the first captain to lift the under under 16 World Cup. It was under 16 those days. Kodak in Kodak World Cup in China, which is now under 17. He's the coach of the team, and he's saying that Nigeria should have nothing to worry about. Let me start with Julius. We have a young team this time around. Well, they went through an MRI. There was no issue. That gladdens my heart. How do you see this team under Luka Wadi?
I think with him there handling the team, I think we should be rest assured that the boys are going to, represent well. Going to represent a whole lot of Nigerian fans that are going to be rooting for them. So we all believe in the capabilities of Nduka Wadi because he's a serious-minded person. So we are expecting a lot from him, and definitely, I think they will deliver.
All right, I think they will deliver. That is what Nigeria is expecting. So, like I said before I went to Agawa just now, this is the first time everybody said that we are having a team that's actually the true age. Do you see this as a beginning for Nigeria? Because we always have issues of age here and there, but now everybody said that this team looks like the team that we are looking at.
Frank, absolutely. I think that for the very first time, the Nigerians are radiating a lot of hope, from the under-17 team. And of course, the reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because a man who is tinkering the team also went through this process. Exactly. Like you said, the very first man, JVC Kodak under-16 World Cup out there in China. He did it, and of course, he has shown a lot of seriousness and, of course, a lot of maturity. He's just one player that does not believe in politics. He's just one player, Frank, that believes in merit. And that is why you see that in everything that he does, he comes out well. And honestly, I believe that with him, that Nigeria will qualify for the World Cup and, of course, go for the even winning the AFCON.
Yeah, talking about winning the AFCON, George, when we played this tournament in WAFU Group B, we came out tops. And this Sunday evening, 5 o'clock, we are taking on Zambia. Do you see this team as a team making Nigeria proud?
No doubt. Tony said, Julius said it, that one thing going for Bade is the fact that he is a very serious-minded person. I have no doubt he has been there over time. He has always been in charge of this team. He has always delivered. I see him delivering again. I don't have any fears. And
for the first time, we have a young player that are truly representatives of age.
It may not be the first time anyway. If you remember when Alphonsus Dike took this team, we had very young players, but they didn't deliver. But at the end of the day, we had very young players. Yes, they didn't deliver.
And he was crucified.
He was crucified for using very young players. So if we have young players, in under 17, under 20, it is not the end. It's just a building block. If we can get very young players that will come out from this team, even if we don't win, we shouldn't lay emphasis on winning at the under-17 level, Frank. It's developmental.
Will you agree that we should look at this team as a turning point for Nigeria, whether we win or not? Will Nigeria agree?
Definitely, like what he just said, under-17 is not the end product. It's supposed to be a developmental program where talents are groomed, and then we develop them to become the superstars that the world want to see. But when the fans are out there, they always want to win to play the top. But if you are a sport person, you know that under 17 is not the final goal. We want to build a team with consistency. They will go on to represent the under 21s, the under 23, and then finally to the Super Eagles, and then go to the whole world, and then go and play for the biggest team in the world.
All right, let's see what Nduka Wadi and his boys going to do. But don't forget, for Nigerians, please, if they don't do well, I'm sure they are going to do well. Assuming they don't do well, please don't let us crucify them. Let us encourage, because this is just the beginning of the product. We'll take a short break. When we come back now, we'll go through blast. Like I said, we'll be rolling with Julius Agawa today. Everybody will be asking questions. So much is happening in Nigeria. But after this break, we'll go straight to all these questions. I'm sure that you are going to answer us frankly. All right, let's take a break.
I'm Barrister Sajo Mohammed, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National League. I enjoy watching Sportsville every week, so stay tuned with them.
Welcome back. It's still Sportsville. Lovely weekends. I said that we're having a ball at the studio here. We have our friends, our special guest, Julius Agawa. Like I said, you'll be feeding questions from all of us today. So many questions to ask. But let me start asking you. how do you see the present Super Eagles of Nigeria? Because as it is now, no teams give that Super Eagle respect. They come here, they beat us, or they make us sweat. How do you see Super Eagles of Nigeria?
Well, I think there's a whole lot of things going on there that we need to make changes to. First of all, the mentality. I think we need the psychology. Mentality is a big issue because they tend to use the same mentality they use playing abroad and bring it here when you are playing the African qualification or thereabout. Is because they want to use the same method. Back here in Africa, if you go and play in some countries, the mentality they will use, they are going to fight for the ball, they are going to fight for that win. But when they come, they want to relax because over there everything is easy, facility, the training, they are easy with you because they believe that in the long run you are going to get it. But back in Africa, we want to get the result now.
We use power,
so you force it. And so if you have that kind of spirit, definitely you will muzzle the result out. And so, but if you relax, before you know, 90 minutes is gone, and then you don't get the result. So we need that change of mentality.
Does it worry you that Super Eagles are having a wrong mentality? Does it worry you?
Yes, it worry because if you look back in the day, the kind of players that Nigeria produced, when they go onto the pitch, you don't have to win all the game. You don't have to win all the time, right? But your fighting spirit will speak for you. When you go out there and fight, people will know that, okay, you tried everything that you could, you fought for it, but today was not a good day for you, so you didn't get the result. But that working spirit, it shouldn't be taken away from the players. So you have to call up. So, and you're wearing the green, white, green. Almost 250 million Nigerians are sitting at home watching the game. So you must give them something to to be happy
about.
That's
the same spirit you use against Senegal. Remember, there's one goal you scored here against Senegal when everybody thought that all hope was lost.
Yes.
Nobody knew how you conjure it, and was that the same spirit?
Yes, of course. It was actually 2 goals in that game. I was on the bench, and the team as at that time were full of studded players with big names, coming from different clubs all over the world. And then I was looked down because I was just a new player that just played the under-21, and I went to Tunisia. I have not even settled in yet, and then they called me to come and play for the Super Eagles. These are the set of players that I watched. 1996 Olympics. I watched them at home. I was not even in any club as at that time. And then 4 years later, I was not, in the same camp with them. It was a dream come true for me. So I was eager to go in there and contribute my own quota. So I was on the bench on that game. 85th minute, they introduced me. I was rude because we were 1 goal down, and I was thinking, is that how we're going to go out? And if we go out here, I didn't even have the chance to test the game.
Exactly.
So when they gave me the opportunity, I knew it was my time to do something. I didn't know I was going to score, but I want to do something. So that fighting spirit, that this game, I must provide something. I must do something, either assist or scoring, whatever it is, I must do something. So you could see the drive when I went in there. And I think it was before the 90 minutes, I scored the goal. And the extra time, people thought it was the end of the game. And the extra time, when I scored the second goal, everybody marched onto the pitch. Some people even got naked, and then they were jubilating.
That was the beginning for the beginning of stardom. I can see that everybody's searching.
Yeah, still on this, you talked about 96. You watch, the Olympic team at home, playing. And we have just noticed that in the Super Eagles, we do not have much of home-based players. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, we have been advocating for that for a long time now. It seems that a lot of people, they are not listening. We want to grow the league, the domestic league. We want to grow it. We want to bring revenue to the league. Right now the clubs are suffering, in terms of finance. So this is an opportunity for us to put it right. If, for example, we have 5 players or 4 players from domestic league, compulsory 5 players from the domestic league in the Super Eagles team. For example, 1 or 2 of them do well in a tournament. The people want to ask the question, where is this player from? Okay, he's playing for Imba, he's playing for Bender Insurance. They want to look into the league and see whether they can get more of those kind of players. So if they buy the player, they are bringing revenue to the team, and then the team can use that money to expand and get more players and build facility for the more players to be developed, and that's how our league is going to develop. And then, so I think those players, 4 or 5 of them, must be included in the home team, because their spirit, their fighting spirit is quite different from people who are coming from Europe. And so if they are there, maybe they can also take a few points from the domestic players and say, this guy is fighting, let me also fight for the game.
Can the players play, and perform what the coach is teaching them?
Definitely. If you are a player, a professional player, sometimes a coach will tell you something, but when you get to the pitch, you are seeing something different. Now it's time for you to improvise. You need to do something different, because now, okay, time is running out. We're almost 90 minutes, but I've been doing what you told me to do. I need to do something. We're not getting results. Okay, now if I get to the flank and I know a man is there marking me, and you tell me, okay, pass the ball back, but I see that I have the ability to go one-on-one with him, and I do it. Maybe the first time I lose the ball, second time I lose the ball, maybe the third time I get it, I square the ball pass, and then we get an assist and we get a goal. Will you still blame me when the game ends? Because I did what I want to do, because I saw an opening. And so players have the ability to do that. They can do that. Some people have that natural ability. So they should also be encouraged.
In terms of mentality, I want to go back to what you said. In terms of mentality, Pesaro is not in Nigeria. I'm not sure he has any African mentality in his blood. Do you see such a man taking Super Eagles to the height that people like him are very proud of? You suffer for this team, you play for this country, and I'm sure you will not be happy if the way we are going down now. Do you think a Pesaro,
will take us to the promised land,
can take us to where you want to be, where you want?
Well, that's going to be very difficult. I will be frank on that. I will tell you my mind. It's my personal view anyway.
Yes.
But I think he doesn't have what we want. He might be a good coach anywhere in the world, abroad, any other country, but what we want here, we want a coach that will come here and develop the game from the grassroots, just like Westerhoff did. He came here, developed these players, picked them from different clubs. A coach that is coming to coach any African team must be able to go around the country, maybe watch a few games, or if you cannot go around, have your agent on those games and then give you feedback from those teams, and then you'll be able to invite players and groom them and train them so that we can have a very strong team.
Okay, Julius, what do you think? Insurance, they are doing very well in the domestic league. Quite frankly, what do you think are the challenges facing Nigerian professional football?
All right, before you answer that question, let's just take a short break. When we come back, we are going to talk about that. We'll be having session with Julius Arawa. This is a special session. You can see that everybody is lively, is here to answer all your questions. So you can join us on our social media handles. Talk to Julius Arawa, ask him questions, so that next week we can flow with you. We're talking about domestic league now, and the insurance is doing well. George, just ask him, what do you think we can do? George, let me.
Yes. What do you think is the major problem with Nigerian professional football? You played abroad. You played for clubs in Turkey, in England.
I started from here, so that should be.
And
played here from
the league has not really grown. What do you think is the biggest problem facing Nigerian league?
I think there are so many reasons. There are so many things that is being faced. Okay, imagine the league didn't start as at how it was supposed to start, and that was a major setback. But finally, the league started, and you can see that most of the time, I think it's about finance. Most of these players are not happy. If you ask some of the questions, I'm very close to some of the current players in the league. Most clubs are not getting it right in terms of finance. Some of them, the players are not happy because what was promised was not fulfilled, and some of them are not happy when they are going for training. Those things need to be looked into. If they are having issues, for example, if you sign a contract with a club, maybe 1 year, and then that 1 year has finished. Now for you to move on to another club, there's no legal backing to say you are no longer with this team, you want to go to another team. Okay, now we sign you off, you are free to go, or come back, let's renegotiate. Those are the laws that we need to put in place guiding this player, because if a player is frustrated, definitely is not going to give you the best. That's why insurance today, because of what our deputy governor is doing, Philip Shaibu, you see the players are happy. They are delivering. You can see them today. They are on top of the league. I went there to watch the game the other day. Fantastic pitch, fantastic stadium. The man is very close to the players. Sometimes he train with them, he even play some games with them. He has done a lot when it comes to grassroots development. That's why all the players are rallying around him. If you look at the female team as well, in Benin, the female team, they are doing queens. They are doing fantastic. Anywhere they see him, they run to him. You can see how they are delivering it. So when a player is happy, you know,
he delivers.
It doesn't take much to make them happy. They just want to be assured that, okay, play this game. When you finish the game, there's something back for you to eat when you get
Okay.
home.
All right, I hope you are enjoying the session today. Thank you so much, Julius. And I wonder, you know, of course, it's been a wonderful session having you in our midst today. I want to say thank you so very much. Let's take another short break now. When we come back, I know so many questions to be asked, but we don't have time. You know, Tony want to ask about administration. We also want to talk about Rivers United. The only known team in Nigeria that is still in the continent that they are shaking. Tony said he's going to like Yanga.
They're playing a younger.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back now, we'll talk about River United. About this Sunday, 6 p.m. They're already in Tanzania now. They want to see whether they can prove a point. They were 2 goals down at home. Can they do it? That is the question. And that will help us to answer after the break.
I'm Barrister Sajo Mohammed, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National League. I enjoy watching Sportsville every week, so stay tuned with them.
It's still Sportsville. Of course, we are on the home stretch now. I will still have our special guest in our midst, Julius Arawa. And before we took a break, we said we are going to talk about Rivers United. And Tony was asking about the administration of Nigerian football. Tony, is that what you wanted to ask?
Yes, Frank, I was just worried. Julius played, greater football for Nigeria. And of course, so many people believe that part of the problem, with Nigerian football has to do with administration. As in, how do you react to this, knowing that you also played in very big clubs, and then comparing their administration with what we have in Nigeria?
Quickly.
Well, we have a long way to do when it comes to the administrative part of football, because that is where we don't usually see. The area we don't usually see, we only see the footballers. But
Exactly.
most of the preparation, they are all done behind the scene, and it's the administrative part that do that. So I think with time we'll get there. It's not a short-term goal; it's a very long-term goal. So I can see now most of the clubs are bringing in US players to come and handle most of the team. I was at Benin, most of the handlers of the team, the people with the backroom staff, they are all S players. So gradually, if we have all that with all the teams, we'll get there.
All right, talking about administration, it's a record that you want to contest for a position in Edo FA.
Yes.
Is it true?
Yes, it is true. That's the reason why I have a lot of my colleagues who have come back, retired, and then they want to be part of football. Some of them are doing coaching work. It's not everybody that will be a coach.
Yeah.
So some people are cut out for administrative part. They want to see what are the reasons why this thing is happening. Why is this player not happy? Why is he not playing well? This pitch is supposed to be better than this. Why do we go to different venues? So someone will need to look into that, because that is where success will start from. When you go abroad, you see the facility, you don't have to worry about that. You go to the dressing room, you don't have to worry about that. Somebody made that thing to be possible. So I want to come in through the administrative part to see what I can contribute after playing the game.
I wish you all the best, Julius.
Thank you so much.
Because you have done this country very proud. I'm sure that you are going to do more when you become, at the driver's seat. You're going to be a driver now.
Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, before we round up, you are United this evening, this Sunday evening, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., Tony.
6 p.m.
Yes.
Frank, ordinary.
Is it impossible or it's possible?
It's not. There is nothing that is impossible in football. Remember that Rivers United, outside the Confederations Cup quarterfinals, beat this same younger team of Tanzania, home and away. Before they were beaten 2-0 back here in Nigeria. It's really going to be a very Herculean task, but then it is not impossible. They can cross the river.
All right, let's quickly take our final break now. When we come back now, look at the fixture for this week. Loaded fixtures. Insurance, the unbeaten team so far is already in Gobe now. To be hosted by Gobe United. While Remo Stars will also be hosting Aqua United after this break. Okay, this is the last part of the show now, and we want to look at our league this weekend. Tony, this is the fixture. So, what's the start match for the week?
Well, I think the start match remains Gombe versus Insurance because in the league, Insurance has made history that they have not in any way conceded defeat. You know, I think it's something that gladdens the heart of Edo people, and indeed, so many soccer fans in Nigeria. You know, they have been experiencing goal droughts. It's always a draw, and then I hope they don't draw into a defeat.
Yes, I hope they don't, Julius.
Well, it's always very important not to concede, not to lose. So whatever any other result you get, you should be happy with that. They are unbeaten in the league so far, and they are still looking for opportunities to score more goals, to create more chances. And then if you don't get that, then you should cover your back and see where you can progress.
Yeah, George, quickly, time no more again.
You talked about Abia Warriors.
Yes, I'm surprised because
they lost 3-0 to Niger Tornadoes. But I think their coach, Erasmus Olmo, is still very confident that they will get to the Super 6. And I think his confidence comes from the fact...
Everybody here is confident to go.
Yeah, they said, you know, they have two straight home. After the one against Takada today, Takada is down and out. They are one of the relegation bound teams. Yeah. So if they pick that one and pick their next game against Doma, then you see them on the rise.
Wow, that's the show today. I want to say thanks so much. No more time again because we have so many questions to ask Julius Arawa. I know that he has so much to tell us, but there's no time. But all the same, we are grateful that he's here today, and I'm sure that you fans out there, you know, must have enjoyed this program. That is why I want you to get back to us through our social media handle. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Get back to us and ask Julius Arawa any question so that next week we can be with you. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Again, I wish you all the best. I know that you are going to be a conductor to the driver. All right, Tony, thanks so much for being here today. I hope you enjoy yourself thoroughly with Julius Arawa.
Thank you so much, Frank.
And Georgina, I hope Arawa has made our day.
Yes, it's been wonderful having him in the studio.
And I wonder.
Thank you, sir, for having me.
Did you ask whether you can jump the game?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely I can, but I cannot be able to do 7 flips like in the World Cup.
Yes.
Especially in the other room.
Yes.